Thank you for joining us for this installment of the Consultants Training Institute's Emerging Leaders Series. I am joined by Rob Stutz. Rob, how do you do? How you doing?
Thank you. Nice to see you.
One of our primary instructors for the Business Valuation Certification as well as the Chartered Mergers and Acquisitions Professional, the CMAP credential. Been teaching for many years.
I have, coming up on 10 this year, Brien.
Really, that many?
Yes, 10 years.
BV and M&A.
Correct. The M&A course hasn't been around quite as long, but the BV
Right.
Training Center, yes, close
Right.
to 10 years.
So what do you do in your practice, Rob? Tell us a bit about what you do and on a daily basis in your firm.
My firm is an investment banking firm called Western Reserve Partners. We're located in Cleveland, Ohio. We have branched out into the world of valuation, and I run that business. Our valuation practice is growing fast. We do no litigation work, focus primarily on estate tax, gift, and ESOP valuations, fairness opinions, and we do a fair amount of fair value reporting valuation work. But that's all we do is valuation work under the name Western Reserve Valuation Services. So we're a wholly owned subsidiary of Western Reserve Partners, which is an investment banking firm in Cleveland. That's what I run. My day-to-day life, honestly, my day-to-day life is entertaining lawyers, accountants, and potential referral sources and recruiting new emerging analysts to join our firm to help us facilitate the hundreds of projects that we do in a year.
What kind of projects?
Our projects are, like I said, primarily tax valuations. We do a lot of tax valuations. We have one of my partners is a man named Dan Callanan. He's a nationally renowned ESOP expert, so he works on a fair amount of ESOP valuations that recur every year. We have very tight relationships with several large regional accounting firms and a number of private equity firms where we do financial reporting projects for them, purchase price allocations, goodwill impairment testing. We do projects for them, all over the country. So we send analysts, we send directors, whatever it might be. We do no litigation, Brien.
I'm pretty clear on that.
Yeah.
You said that a couple times, no litigation. Why no litigation?
It's a different animal for us. I mean, my background is entirely transactional valuation reports, providing opinions. I do not have a CV like your typical litigation person would have. And that doesn't make me bad. That just makes me different, and different's okay. But we excel in providing high-end opinions under a very strong brand name, which people need. And in the litigation area, the risks are great of taking a dent to your reputation if you're not successful.
Right.
And I can't afford to do that to our brand name, which is high in our niches. Does that make sense? So crossing over is a little difficult for us.
Well, and to be able to focus on that very defined set of services probably allows you to run your firm much more efficiently and strongly because your core competency is core and tight.
Yeah, when I teach these classes, these people, so much of the valuation world at our level, at a high volume, high output, high end product, is based on how many projects you've done, and our library consists of thousands of reports that our professionals have signed over the years. So when we take on a new project, it's very easy for us to find one similar that we've done in the past and bring it into the current and update it for our new client. And that's what makes us so efficient and stick to what we're good at. We run in a model that's different than your typical accounting firm might. We have one analyst who owns a project, cranks the project out, gets it done, sends it to a director, they sign off on it, we're done. We don't pass it up the stages like an accounting firm would, and that also leads to our efficiencies.
How did you get into this profession?
I kind of lucked into it. I was an equity research analyst as an intern in college. I went to Butler University, and the first job I got was with a firm called Gelzer in Indianapolis, which I ended up buying later in life. But my role at Gelzer was to crank out family limited partnership valuations when I was 20 years old. And by the time I was 25, I'd been involved in 300 or 400 valuation projects, which not many people have that kind of experience. That just happened to be my job.
Okay.
And I really didn't think much of it. I didn't go to college thinking I'll be evaluation analyst someday or evaluation professional. I went to college and studied finance.
Mhm.
And my first job was with Gelser in Indianapolis, and I ended up cranking out valuations. I lucked into it, honestly. And I was a director of valuations at an accounting firm when I was 25 because I had more experience than most people did just because of my 5-year career at that point.
Right, previous to that. What are some of the challenges you'd say are out there for folks who want to work in this profession, things that they should be aware of to help protect their professional reputation? What are some things that you would discuss about?
Oh, the challenges for us, right now there's a big, in the world of ESOPs, that's a big part of our business. Dan, my partner, is well known. There's a big fiduciary issue facing valuators in the ESOP world where they want the valuation people to be fiduciaries to the ESOP plans. And if that happens, that could be a significant dent to our business or could work in our favor if we drive up pricing for our annual valuation updates, but certainly we'll have to have increased insurance. Other challenges, valuation's a very tough business to crack into, to start. So much of the Business Valuation Training Center, when I'm teaching it, people want to talk about where do you find leads, how do you find new projects, how do you build this service, and it's not easy. There's not a ton of low-hanging fruit in our space. I mean, the low-hanging fruit that I see, the inverse of your question, the opportunities.
Right.
There's a ton of opportunity in divorce and domestic in the United States for good experts. I mean, I saw a statistic yesterday that said a baby born now will be divorced 3 times in their lifetime, and that, it's fascinating in this country that people are going to get divorced that much. That's a lot of valuation work. The other opportunities in this physician area, doctors coming and going from practices, they leave very often and they go to new practices, and when they do, there's always buyouts and valuation needs, and there seems to be a shortage of valuation professionals who can service that physician niche. So those would be the opportunities. I think the hard parts, it's tough to crack into this in the ESOP situation we're dealing with, and those are the 2 big opportunities that I see, physicians and divorce.
That's excellent advice for those folks.
Which we're involved in neither one, which is fascinating right now.
But still, from your perspective, as an instructor and in the area that you work, M&A and financial reporting, so that's good advice for folks that are thinking about getting into this profession as to where to specialize. In your spare time, what do you like doing?
I'm an avid outdoorsman. I know you guys live in Utah. I want to live in Utah. I like to hike. I like to camp. I like to canoe. I like to fish. I like to be with my 3 boys. I coach their baseball teams. I played baseball in college. I love baseball. I'm giving up golf this year. It's been a stressful year, so I'm laying out of golf. I figure that would be bad.
Laying off the golf.
Yeah, giving up.
But you love it.
It's a love-hate relationship. It really is a love-hate relationship.
Is it? Golf as well.
I'm sticking to the outdoors this year. They don't talk back. They're nice to
Sure,
me.
Sure.
And they're humbling.
Right.
So I go to the outdoors.
And you can drink your beer without having to schlep across some beautiful lawns.
That's true.
Just kind of sit by the creek and,
Be me, yes.
reel it in.
Correct.
So, your perspective from teaching so many students, you get a range of professional from some that are experienced and credentialed, and those who are, new to the profession, or their firms are sending them to help to raise the ability to bring in more business and consulting, specifically in business valuation. Of all the students and all the programs that you've trained, what are some of the kinds of advice that you would give to them? They're out there listening to you now after having you in a class and are getting involved or thinking about what to do with this next step in their practice. What would that be? You
can't imagine. I mean, NACVA in my 10 years almost of training, and I've been a member for longer, has evolved, and the type of student that comes to these courses has evolved so much. I mean, it used to be typical student was a CPA from a CPA firm that was just looking to moonlight as a valuation professional to fill their time gap, or they were just here to get their CPE for their CPA designation and get the CVA behind their name. And today, the people I meet in this class I just got done with, there was 3 students from Puerto Rico, which is fascinating. There was a partner from Grant Thornton, which is a huge a huge accounting firm. I recently had several of the finance directors from waste management in one of my classes, which was just outstanding. So the caliber of students has changed dramatically over the years. And what advice do I have for them? I mean, valuation skills are so basic and so amazing in the M&A world, right? If you know how to value companies the way we teach it, you know how to buy and sell companies. You can understand investment decisions. So there's ways to make money. I personally own 2 businesses right now that I bought, and I sold a third last year using my valuation skills that I learned from NACVA. So there's so many other ways to make money than just being a valuation professional and writing opinions and things like that, or doing divorce valuation or ESOPs or financial reporting. There's so many ways in which you can use these skills to make money if you're creative and aggressive. That's what I tell them. I mean, waste management guys come here for a reason. They want to learn how we value companies, being the professionals representing the companies they're trying to buy. And they're looking at us as the people that are helping these smaller trash routes. What a wonderful company Waste Management is for this country. And to have them endorsing NACVA was just an eye-opening opportunity. So there's so many opportunities outside of just pure valuation. People get hung up on litigation or forensic or something, but there's so many other things you can do with the skills that are in valuation. So why not come learn how to value a company? What's it going to hurt? Everyone should know that. It can help you in your 401k investment decisions. There's so many different ways, and it's interesting. It's a great background to have. I wish it was a college major now. I wish you guys would make it a college major.
Right. That trend seems to be becoming more in universities, that they're considering or adopting some part of their studies for the students in business valuation and some in forensic accounting, but definitely not prevalent through the entire university system in the United States. Why the universities? I mean, why do you feel that's important?
Well, because people who come out of college, calculating the enterprise value of a company is basic finance, right? And they learn that in school, but they don't learn the methods that we teach. They don't know to go to the transaction databases that we teach them about. They know about discounted cash flow, but they don't know the sources for the discount rates and things like that we teach. So it would be nice if that was a major in college, because like I said, it is such a backbone for finance, being able to understand the value of the debt and the equity and the enterprise value and how they work together in a company, that really all else in M&A flows off of that. And kids aspire to work for investment banks and be in the valuation world and to buy companies and to work for private equity companies. And really, that's all we as professionals want to hear from the young kids, is that they understand the makeup of the capital structure of a business. They understand the debt side, the equity side, how that works in enterprise value, how EBITDA might play into that. And if they taught those things in school, it would be very refreshing to us when they come out.
Right. And they get those skills to use and have a job like you someday.
Those are the practical knowledges that we need in our students, in our analysts when we bring them out of college. The textbook finance school is good, but we need more. We need the ability for them to understand what EBITDA is and how it plays into enterprise value and capital structure. Like I said, we need that when we hire people. We don't want to have to teach that. So it would be nice if NACVA was teaching at the students at the college level. That would really go far for firms like us, because there is such a need for valuation in this world.
Right. Well, I will tell you that we are making some impact into the academics, economics, and the American Accounting Association is a large academic conferences that are held through the Allied Social Sciences Association and the American Accounting Association. Not so much with curriculum, but at least introducing the PhD students and candidates and MBA candidates that there are these kinds of
Mm-hmm.
professional opportunities available for them to apply their education to
Yeah.
a career.
On several occasions in the past year or two, you and I have talked about, I forget what colleges, maybe West Virginia or something was
Right,
looking at.
West Virginia University, Ohio Northern University. There are about a dozen universities who've adopted some of our curriculum from the BB training.
Right.
Not fully, but ultimately how to integrate our curriculum into the university setting so when they come out, they are on a path for a credential.
Right. And that would be completely refreshing to us as a valuation community because it takes a step out of our training. I mean, the first thing we talk about when we hire someone out of undergrad is we got to get them trained. We send them to NACVA. It would be so nice if they already did that.
Right.
And that they just understood the fundamentals, discounted cash flow, market approach,
Right.
you know, public company valuation approach, whatever it is.
Like just at that level
Just,
ahead of
yeah. That way we can talk knowledgeably when they're there. It's not like, hi, now go to NACVA and learn and come back when you're ready. You know,
Right.
it would be nice if colleges would integrate that. And that would be good for your organization,
Yeah,
too.
well, let's see if we can make that happen. Rob, thank you so much for this
Thank
interview.
you.
Appreciate it, and for all the contributions you've made, not only to the association, but to the profession.
Sure, thank you.
And training many, many analysts. And appreciate how you're so giving of your knowledge and your experience to make folks very confident in this area.
Thank you. We
Thank you very much.
appreciate NACVA and our profession very much.